So today we're going to be working on the 2010 Subaru Legacy GT. So last time you guys saw this car on the vlog, I had mentioned that the car was down. I've been having a cylinder 3 misfire. I have zero compression in cylinder 3, so all signs are pointing towards I have a bent valve. So first things first, I'm gonna get started by draining the coolant and the oil, and then I'm gonna move on to slowly pulling the engine out. I've never pulled the motor, and this may take me maybe a few days. I know there are pros out there that can do it in an hour or less. This is my first time. I really don't want to damage things further, so I'm just gonna take my time, and this isn't gonna be a step-by-step how-to video. I'm not experienced enough to be giving people advice and instructions on how to do this, but what I am going to do is I'm going to link the videos below that I used to help teach myself how to do this. All the videos I used were for NA Subarus, so if I find something that's specific to the turbo version of these EJ25s and these 2010 Legacies, I'll let you guys know, and I'll include that information in the video. So while I wait for this to continue to drain, I'm going to remove some of this intake stuff. Draining the oil now. What a waste. It's brand new mold tool right there that I just put in. Okay, so in the video we were watching on how to do this, they take out this back bolt behind the power steering pump. It looks like on this vehicle, this bolt crashes into that line there, so that bolt's not gonna come out. So I think I'm gonna have to take out more of this assembly here. So it looks like there's a bolt here, a bolt down there, and another bolt here that holds this whole thing in place. So I'm gonna try taking those bolts off, and I'll see, hopefully that'll make this whole thing come out. Alright, so just so you guys can see what I'm struggling with, I gotta get that bolt right there out, but this is just enough in the way that I can't get down there. So I gotta figure out a way to get that bolt out now. Alright, I think I'm gonna try to take the shield off. So there's one bolt in the front that I already took off. There's one down here on the side, and two in the back. I don't know how I'm gonna get those ones in the back, but try to figure it out. Okay. The shield here on top of the fuel rail has just been so stubborn. I got all the bolts off except for the one in the very back at the very bottom. I just can't access it, but I did get enough bolts off to make this at least move a little so that I can access the bolt, get the tool in there. So I guess that's how I'm gonna have to do it. I wanted to just delete this whole shield. I don't think it even does anything, and it just except get in the way. Okay, so last time I was here, we got the steering pump out and the AC pump out. All that's really left is I have to disconnect the exhaust. I have to disconnect this front engine mount, a few bell housing bolts. The motor should be ready to come out pretty soon. So I bought an engine hoist. So I'm gonna put this together. All right, there we go. The hoist is built. Next up, building the engine stand. Bam, engine stand is assembled. All right, so right here, where the catalytic converter is, that's where I'm gonna disconnect it from the exhaust. Right here, there's 2 bolts. I believe they're 12 mil, and that should disconnect the motor from the rest of the exhaust.
Several days later.
Last time, I was talking about these bolts to the exhaust. They're actually 14 mil. I took these off using actually pneumatic impact drivers that I had to borrow because they were extremely difficult to get off. I don't know if I would have gotten them off any other way. I don't know if you guys could really see, but here behind the axles, there's 2 bolts. There's one nut and 1 bolt that has to come out. And I was having difficulty getting them off, so I had to use a swivel socket. And the other trick that I had to use was I actually had to rotate the tires or rotate the wheel a little to get the CV joint in a good position to get the socket in there. So that lower bolt is a little bit tough, but it can be done without taking out the CV axle, which I thought I had to do, but luckily I didn't. And then the last thing I have to do under here is disconnect this ground here on the driver or on the passenger side. I think it's a 10 mil. I think there's 1 more bolt up top. Then I'll disconnect the fuel lines, and this motor should be ready to come out. Oh, and I also had to disconnect the intake from the turbo inlet. Yeah, so Nolan's disconnected the fuel lines now. Yeah, we're always fine. Just a few more things before the motor's ready to pull, and hopefully she comes out nice and easy, but it's not been the case so far. Never the case. It only looks like that on YouTube after the editor has...
After you have done your job?
Yeah. So Noel's got the little, I don't know, what do you call this thing?
Oh, this is a leveler. So it's a load leveler. It keeps the load level.
You can pull the motor out. Getting pretty close. All the fuel lines are disconnected.
Just go ahead and do one more good once over. Make sure everything that is going to keep this thing from coming out is removed. And if it is, then we'll stick a pry bar in there, and we should be gravy.
All right. Is the weight on this yet?
Yeah, no, it's
okay.
It's tensioned and
So
everything.
the last thing we have to do is pull this.
Yeah, pull your mount out. Oh yeah, see, we're pulling into the bumper. Let's take your bumper off. I would just start wiggling.
Okay. I just feel like you're under here.
It's okay, I can move. If I die, I die. Alright, you got the, make sure feel around, make sure all the bell housing bolts are out of there.
As far as I can tell.
There's one right here.
Where?
Right here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shit. I guess I didn't get them all. It's probably a 14.
It is a 14.
So
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, if you can make it a deep socket, that would be prime.
all right. So there was 1 more bolt up there. You want to tell them what it was behind?
Oh yeah, it was tucked under the transmission connectors. So
And it passes right through the mount for them.
there we go. We're coming.
That's what she said.
That thing's swinging to your condenser, else
Yeah.
you're gonna do a condenser.
All right. So I'm just kind of wiggling it from down here. It seems to be giving me enough leverage to really separate the motor. Yeah, and then pump up. There we go. Oh, So there's 2 more lines for the heater core, you said?
Yes.
That I forgot.
Now we're born sponsors.
Throttle. Went up, we're pissing.
We're pissing.
Oh shit.
Okay, start pulling, Ian.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There we go. Can you give me another?
Huh? It's
Oh shit. We've run into the.
Suffering.
oh the turbo on the motor.
No.
There.
Alright, so it looks like it's just this little oil
The turbo sump.
oil cooler fucker under the turbo is what preventing us from bringing the turbo or from bringing the motor out. So Nolan's disconnecting everything and seeing if we can clear the mount there. Oh shit. Well, dude, this is not good.
Oh yeah, see what the fuck over?
Fuck.
They're not bent up. I was watching this like fucking go like that.
Dude.
Alright, hell yeah.
Sick.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Pittsburgh Automotive.
Fucking A, dude. Yeah.
Nobody makes this mistake.
Exactly. We're doing the public service. Even though even though you guys are gonna roast me in the comments, so this happened
Yeah, when did you put this together?
last week.
Last week, okay.
Yeah. So what happened was these stabilizer arms, the holes are not in the right place, so they wouldn't match up. So I was just like, they didn't look like they did shit. So I was like, fuck it. I'm like, I got the Dremel. I tried the fucking Dremel, but this is really hard steel.
And this is exactly why you don't forget.
So, like Nolan said, that's why you don't forget these.
Why you don't
'cause it's just now I have to go and get another fucking hoist.
Say Disney. Do that just like that.
All right, I'm back again, and we have the new hoist here. So I'm gonna attempt to pull this engine once again, and hopefully we're successful this time. Wish me luck, guys. Ripperino. I guess there was a ground here that I didn't disconnect, and it looks like I have to disconnect these two. I'll probably just unbolt it from here. That should disconnect all the lines. Alright, so we have the engine on the engine stand and off the hoist. I am so excited to finally have the motor out of the car, even if we hit a few bumps along the way. Just very happy to have it out. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, because in the next video, I'm going to be tearing the motor apart to find out what's actually wrong with it. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video or this helped you out at all, it would mean a lot to me and it would help me out a lot if you could give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Alright guys, next video coming soon.